232 fire tubes, which are surrounded by water, which produce steam when you have a flame that goes through it. Next slide. Okay, pumping repair. This is actually right now, this is your waste station. This is a waste station, which means that all the waste that's through the entire complex roll through this room. If this is a very critical piece, this is a very critical room, which means as long as you have water coming into the complex, you must have sewage going through it. If this system goes down, you will really literally be deep into it. If this room ever goes down, it will be an issue. Oh, this is emergency repair. This is an emergency repair that happened 2 o'clock in the morning. Like I said, it has to keep going. The station has to keep going. The room has to keep going. So what we did was, that's Steve, Muhammad, and I taking the pictures. We did an actual emergency repair. Removed the pump and removed the motor. And what they're doing right now is they're doing actual adjustments to get the system going. So like, when everyone gets up in the morning during rush hour, the pumps are back up and going. These pumps pump 600 gallons per minute, which means that pump runs 10 minutes. Every 5 minutes it goes on and off. Very critical room. Next slide. Heat exchangers. These are the heat exchangers that actually produce your hot water. They take steam from your boilers, right? And then what happens is it mixes the steam with a shell inside that heats up the domestic cold water, which supplies you hot water to your spigots, kitchens, bathrooms, showers, and so forth. This is an actual picture of a heat exchanger, one that you have, what they call Graham heat exchangers. They produce 600 gallons of hot water per minute. Maintenance, we do maintenance and repairs. As you can see, J.R. Levy actually doing repairs on the system. We also do maintenance, we maintain it, and we also do most of the stuff in-house. Try to keep the cost down low. Make sure that when you get up in the morning, evening, you have hot water. Fire suppression system equipment. What happened is that's your fire pump, which we maintain, lubricate, we take care of everything, we test run it every month. This is their air compressors, which is in the dry pipe system in the garage, which means that there must be a dry pipe system. Means no water should not be in it. Since your garage is, it's at lower temperatures, you must keep air in that system. So that's what the air compressors do. So very important piece of equipment that we maintain. We check it every day, daily, and then every month we do like an actual full maintenance on these systems to make sure everything's working okay. Rooftop exhaust fans. As you can see, we have 60 exhaust fans, which means there's 20 exhaust fans, which serves kitchens and toilet exhaust that we have to take care of, maintain, and do repairs on. As you can see, this is a levee again. Levee's all over the place. As you can see, levee's everywhere. And what he's doing right now, he's actually repairing an exhaust fan on one of the roofs that we take care of to make sure that all the exhaust fans are working inside the apartment as needed. Next slide. Hot air recovery system. This is a combination of a exhaust fan / heat recovery system. What it does, the air that comes out of your apartment is warm. If this unit takes this preheated air, it preheats the air coming in for the common area elements, HVAC systems. It actually has energy. It saves you energy, which means the unit doesn't have to. The HVAC system doesn't have to work as hard to produce heat. So this is what this system does. Next slide. Okay, this was made. This is created. This is something very special. This is a pool condensate tank. The pool condensate tank is a very critical piece of equipment, which means it takes care of everything from your pool, heated, jacuzzi, everything. This piece of equipment goes down, nothing works. This piece of equipment was made by Gallo Zumba. This was actually made from one of the actual workers. You cannot find this piece of equipment. He built this from scratch. This whole piece of equipment was built in by one of the welders. That's the old one. This is what in the middle what he was doing. This is at Carl Brialis. This is Carl. He's actually rewiring the whole control circuit of that condensate tank. We have a lot of talent here. Talent, as you can see, this is what they do every day. Next slide. Finished product. That was the condensate tank. That tank was actually made by one of the Galaxy workers. Not known from the outside. Wow. No one came from the outside. That was made by Galaxy. That's the talent you have here. Pumps. Yeah, next slide. Booster pumps. Now, as you can see, you have a high rise. You have city water pressure coming in, only 80 pounds. I got to boost that water pressure up about 300 feet. Guess what? That's what does that. That pump goes down. You do not have any water pressure coming out of your apartments or anything like that. Now, That's Levy, he's not there. But what we do is we actually work on the pumps. We disassemble it, put it all back together. This is the finished product right here. Brand new pump, we installed it, everything. We take the motor, put the motor in, do the adjustments, everything, and then we maintain these pumps every month, every grease them, make sure everything's working all right. And also too, we take care of the electrical circuits. So the talented, we do a lot of stuff in-house. We try to save we try to save the company money. We try to do everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Robbie. Great job. I'm going to feel very remiss if I didn't go back and mention a slide that I missed earlier as I was expanding on housekeeping's efforts. There's 3 members of the maintenance staff who are key portions to the operation. And the first one is Lori Mayernick. She's our purchasing agent. She's responsible for in-house inventory that's in excess of $200,000 in stock all the time. And that's for standard materials, air-conditioned filters, belts, light bulbs, paint. Lori's responsible for implementing inventory control, disbursement, and redistribution. Next slide, please. Back one, yeah, that was going back behind. The next slide was showing our in-unit service coordinators, and that would have been Azari Bravo, who's the senior coordinator. And Alexis Smooth, who's our in-unit service coordinator. Their functions are very in-depth. They take the phone calls that come in for a service request, they log the work orders, they schedule the manpower, they make sure that they have the materials that they need. They also assist with our alteration and decorating agreements, making sure that we get the proper insurance requirements from vendors and contractors. So I wanted to make sure that I went back and acknowledged them because they are very key players to the operations of the building. So I do apologize for glossing over them before, because I certainly shouldn't have. What I'd like to talk about now is the next slide is the project management year in review. Just to discuss a couple of the projects that we had completed this year. The first one was new transformers. 4 new electric transformers were replaced in 2015 for a cost of $36,000. Those transformers were 500 kVA, 300 kVA, 150 and 45 kVA. Some of this equipment is rather large. The 500 kVA has the potential of powering up several hundred homes. So loss of some of these transformers would have significantly impacted several homeowners. These transformers are original to the building. They're in excess of 45 years old. The phases are load imbalanced, they're humming, they're overheating, they're energy inefficient, and they're near time for failure. So the association took the effort to replace 4 of those last year. We are projected to continue those inspections this year and carry that replacement schedule forward a little further. The next item we worked on was the 7 new HVAC units. There were 6 units that service the spa, 1 unit that services the lower levels of tower number 1. The project scope was engineered and competitively bid to replace these units. These units were beyond repair. They outlived their service life, and the project was awarded to the lowest qualified bidder. The prices for those bid for the installation range from $167,000 to $309,000. This work was commenced in 2015 and is nearing completion right now. All the equipment is in place, it's all running. Where we're at right now is we're just finishing up punch list and commissioning inspections from the manufacturer, and we should have full warranties in place soon. The next item was the atrium glass replacement. A project scope was engineered and an RFP was sent to several qualified firms. Based on competitive bid, the project was awarded to the lowest bidder at $314,000. This project included the replacement of 80 glass panels weighing in excess of several dozen tons. These panels were logistically challenging in that they needed to be lowered from the plaza driveway down to the atrium area here. We're pleased to announce that during that loading, that no panels were damaged and no incidents occurred in the mobilization of that project. The project was successfully completed and also resolved several leak issues that there were around the windows and the spandrels. This project enhanced the curb appeal and added to the pool's appearance with enhanced views of the Manhattan skyline. The next project we worked on, which was also in conjunction with the outdoor pool here, was the replacement of the roof. In late summer 2015, a contract was awarded in the amount of $56,000 to the lowest bidder to replace the roof above the indoor pool. This work included new insulation, new wood nailers at the coping, and a .60 TPO membrane applied over the top. This project was successfully completed in 2015. The next project we'd like to talk about is the plaza driveway engineering. An engineering firm had been retained that had prepared design drawings for 3 possible replacement options for the driveway. Option number 1 is to replace in kind with new pavers and drains. Option 2 was for a stamped concrete application, and then the third application would have been an asphalt. RFPs were prepared and advertised to several qualified firms for all 3 phases. The scope of work and budgeting pricing are presently being under review and consideration by the board and management. The next project we have is boiler engineering. Several engineering firms pre-qualified for such works were sent invitations to bid on the evaluation and design of the boilers, heat exchangers, and controls. As Rodney had showed you in the picture, on your heat exchangers, there's no automatic controls to them. Everything is manual dialed in. So what happens is early in the morning when there's a heavy load, the team needs to go and make adjustments to those heat exchangers. As people start leaving for the day and the load decreases, they need to adjust them again. So there's like 22 of these heat exchangers on the property that potentially you could have somebody do nothing but adjust heat exchangers all day long. Part of the project with the boilers is we like somebody to take a look at these heat exchangers, see if there's a better way of doing it, more energy efficient, less labor intensive. So not only are we looking at the boilers, we're looking at the heat exchangers and the controllers as well. As I mentioned, an invitation was sent to several firms. We received competitive bids ranging in pricing from $58,000 to $147,000 over 3 potential scenarios. We had asked the engineers to look at 3 possible scenarios. One is for replacing your 2 boilers in kind with 2 boilers. The second option is to replace your two boilers with a multi-staged application, which could be 3 or more boilers that can be staged, taken out of service, and provide some redundancy for when we're providing maintenance and repairs. The third option would be for an energy efficient type program, whether it's cogeneration or turbines that would turn steam energy into electrical energy. So we're looking at the possibility of also producing electricity to reduce our costs. So again, the advertisement went out. The contract was awarded to the lowest bidder, who was ONS Engineering, for the price of $58,000. This work has commenced. ONS Engineering has already begun their preliminary investigation and assessments, and we should be getting some feedback from them on design within the next 20 days is what's called out for in the contract. The next item on the project here is the MEP contract. And what
John, I'm going to have to ask you to skip over that and move this along. We're running short on time.
Great.
And so we're going to...
Thank you for your time, everybody. I appreciate it.
I'm just going to go through some of these graphics of the projects that John just spoke about. These are your transformers, old and new. This is a picture of your old 45-year-old HVAC units. And here you see what the mechanical rooms look like with the new units, all complete. They're just below us here in the spa. This is what your atrium glass looked like before and after. As John said, the contrast and the curb appeal is just remarkable. Something that had to be done, it had to be done soon. Got The garage restoration project, John, I'll ask you to talk about that. Just very quickly though, because I started to feel like Marco Rubio after the air was sucked out of the room at the last debate. But we do have to move this along. We're a couple more, several minutes overdue for the regular monthly meeting.
Okay, the garage restoration project was a 3-year stage contract with escalating pricing in each phase. It incorporated refinishing the garage's surfaces on levels 12, 11, and 10. As of right now, we're just finishing up year 2. What had happened was after year 1, there was supposed to be a demobilization, at which point wearing course striping was supposed to happen. The association had decided at that term to defer that phase of the project and continue the heavy construction. In deferring this project and saving the demobilization fees of excess of $46,000. So where we're at right now is we're just finishing up year 2, and we should be finished within the next, I want to say 3 to 4 weeks. What we're hoping to do after that is to kind of put the heavy construction on hold for amount of time to give the opportunity for the dust to settle, give us a chance to clean up these areas, especially on the lower levels that haven't seen any activity in quite a few years, and to give us an opportunity to actually turn over a couple of floors of parking spaces that are actually completed 100%, and that they have their wearing course on it, they're striped, they're painted, and at which point afterwards, sometime around August, September, when we finish this wearing course on those other levels, it'll be determined whether and when we'll proceed with the 3rd phase of the project. Here's showing a picture of what the 11th floor looked like, with the top course of the concrete taken down to the rebar level, and this is what it's looking like as they're installing the new concrete on the left and the finished concrete on the right. What we're hoping is, I believe this is the 11th floor we're looking at. What we're hoping for is by the time August rolls around, this floor here will have all of its columns and pipes painted, all of its stripes in place, its wearing course in, and that'll be a complete turned over garage floor for your use. The restoration team. Some of the things that we've accomplished this year and was shown in the photos previously was the retaining wall along River Road, the Boulevard East planters in front of the mall, the mini park, benches and pergolas. The tower bridges were painted. The S levels of each tower was painted. The compactor rooms and trash rooms were painted. We started painting some of the garage areas. We hope to start that up again very shortly. And within the next 90 days, the restoration team has just been commissioned for an additional 90-day term, at which point we hope to continue increasing the curb appeal of the community by doing additional cleaning and painting along Ferry Road that runs under the building, and Boulevard East, as well as enhanced cleaning, painting, and preparations of the garage, specifically levels 12 through 10, and then additional cleaning happening on floors 5 up through 9. And
thank you, John. Thank you. And again, we're going to go through some of these quickly, very quickly. As you can see, John Lynch has quite a plate full. This is some of the before and after pictures. S-level painting, the retaining wall on River Road. And again, these are self-explanatory. The transformation of appearance based on the work that the restoration team is doing is dramatic. And I think we, at the last meeting when the board authorized renewal of the restoration team for another 30 days, if I'm not mistaken, the savings was in excess of $100,000 or more compared to what outside contractors would cost us to do the same work. This is more curb appeal work. Again, it's obvious the difference is very dramatic, and this shows some of the ingenuity of the crew in solving problems like this. You see on the right a makeshift form that was made custom to repair this corner. Here's the men fast at work, and what you see on the far right is the end results, the finished product. So they did an amazing job. also in and around the pool. I think the black and white picture on the left was for extra gloomy effect. But this is what it looked like before they patched all and repaired all this concrete shelf. And to the right, you see a picture of all that area nicely finished off. Okay, so John already talked about project management next steps. And then I'm going to wrap it up with just a few summaries. In addition, I think I counted Lee Klemansky had about 187,000 in savings, give or take. Well, the 50,000 plus the 130, so 181. So just as a recap, the new natural gas contract saves us an annual $131,000 a year. That was done earlier on in 2015. And the new electricity contract, which we just signed, would save another 131. So that 131, play that number. That's the third time we saw that. But I think that puts me at 260 compared to 187. So keep going, keep going. We're in competition. We'll see what the next fiscal year brings. Again, these are some of the projects we'll be working on in the next 12 months. New laundry equipment contract, pool resurfacing, ladies' locker room, landscaping design on some of the 5 of the areas around the property, new sewer lift station controls and upgrades. John mentioned garage cleaning and Boulevard East and Ferry Road curb appeal, the Plaza driveway project, boiler replacement, and last but not least, the hallway project. What's happening now is following the board's solicitation of comments from the community, recommendations from the hallway design committee, and design partners from Mancini and Duffy. The board has now asked us to do some mock-ups of 2 of the elevator vestibules in Tower 1, floors 16 and 15, to test some of the decisions that they're going to be making in the next weeks to come. So these are not, please stay away from those areas for another week or so, and by the end of next week you should see those mock-ups done, and we're testing lighting, paint colors, carpets, mirrors up versus mirrors down, popcorn ceilings versus no popcorn ceilings, and the contractors doing this are also giving us a better idea of the budget numbers for those kinds of segments of the project. So the board is really doing its due diligence to make these decisions very, very carefully and consider all factors, appearance, cost, and overall value. So stay tuned for those decisions. And with that, I wish you all a happy St. Patty's Day. By the way, this presentation is our interim admin assistant, Ayat Saleh, and thank you very much.